This is a story told in the time that it takes to cook beet soup. It involves a moon, a sun, and the spinning of the spoon at the bottom of the pot. It makes the song of the story. It began in the morning with many things: cold feet, self-portraits, hairstyles, and my very first memory. The moon, egg, sun. But before the beginning, I lived in a dream. In the womb. One may be unaware, but the womb has its seasons. I watched many stars and amber sunsets and constellations, all to the hum and the noise of the outside world. I shared my mom's ears then. She had ears for all kinds of information, including the television news, where the 4 cowboy men of the apocalypse broadcast daily the end of the world. All this made me well aware of a winter that awaited me outside the dreamy weather of the womb. There are many days in life when one has cold feet. In other words, fear. I was born with cold feet. In the days when I was little, my thoughts, they came much later. I demonstrated this by drawing countless of self-portraits with my head the shape of the letter U. This showed that emptiness. I had bangs ready to hide that emptiness. I was a satellite then, a primitive cosmonaut. A boiled egg taught me much about the universe. As did spinning. I love to travel. When I did stop, I stopped for beet soup, where the boiled egg turned into the moon and the sun and into God. I looked at them and they all reassuringly looked back at me and watched me wherever I went. I always went back to my sport. One day, a hairstyle, bangs to the left, taught me much about the world. Hitler. He was a kid once like me. From this day, I realized spinning wouldn't be enough. I avoided hairstyles by turning to the animals. They are rarely in the news or in history as cause of trouble. They have always been depended on since caveman times, so I too have depended on them. I began to collect their blessings whenever I could, their breath on my forehead. My hair and my self-portraits became wild with the animals, or all slicked back like the Pope, but only during church flower processions. I continued to spin, but now I try to catch things in the universe. But you can't catch anything in it, you can only catch yourself. I span with the seasons like a gymnast through summer, winter, fall and spring. One day we stopped in mid-spin and we left on a plane. Being on airplanes is my best time, even today. The clouds are the right place for people afraid of the ground. There's never any problems when you look down. All troubles and bad guys are the size of fleas. But the hustle starts again when you land. The new place, it made me new. Little did I know it would be the place for my future great trick. There were many channels here, unlike back home. Several channels for TV news, which made me recall the 4 cowboy men of the apocalypse. And this is how the whole thing started again. It still spun, but I started to feel like a spectacle. I was noticed too much on what I ate, how I dressed, and how I talked. To quit, I tried to tie my socks together. It was hard to kick the habit. I didn't have the same animal spirit that I did back home. And instead of feeling like a farm animal, I felt like a zoo one. Everything I did was zoo. Many strange questions were asked of me, like what do you eat? Where do you get your leotards from? I imagined the answers were collected from a plaque, the same kind that zoo animals have. I started to get strong zoo feelings, and when you get these, you flee to the zoo. It would be a fateful day. One who has cold feet can take on the behaviors of a fainting goat for a period of time, and I did. It told me with its eyes the secret of staying out of danger. You can't get hurt if you're not there. Fainting is like a time machine. You wake up in the safety of the future. And I did. When a goat breathes on your forehead, that's a blessing. When someone has a fateful day, the world stops, and this is how I experienced it. After that, I was a magnet for fainting goats. My feet acted like theirs in times of trouble. Animals' feet shake when they are born, not because they can't walk, it's because they're scared. The ground is dangerous. I remember the rest like a dream. I met many other world renouncers who spun, but they spun for different reasons than I thought. One day I realized all the consequences I shared with the goats. Like news hits you slowly. I said, news hits you slowly, bravo. Where the goats don't care for left and right, they don't care for directions.
assis sur un jet d'eau, tu ronges des paillettes tordues dans un tonneau.
And lastly, they don't care for music or dancing. Bravo. I was getting tired of the goat ways, so I started to get new ideas. Think of mountain goats these days, stable, brave, balanced, and living on top of the world. But until then, I have to do my usual walk.
South Virginia, where I live much easier. While the one I love and have a lot of fun. Never